What's the deal, man? Yes! Yeah! Hey, shout out to you for clicking on this episode of my podcast. Before I get to the episode, I would like to ask that if you're not already subscribed to my channel, hit that subscribe button. It only takes a couple seconds. Hit the bell notification because it lets you know every single time I drop a new episode. Like this video, leave a comment, and I hope you enjoy the episode. Let's go! Yeah! My name is Michael DeLu. Today is Monday, November 22nd, 2021, and this is episode 79 of Pull Up the Tape. I am really excited to get this started, to get things going. Episode 79, I'm 21 episodes away from 100. I cannot wait until I finally get to 100. Until then, keep rocking with me, keep showing love, keep supporting. And let's get into today's podcast. So I am a little under the weather, so excuse me for my voice if I sound a little annoying or congested or if I sneeze or whatever. Please just bear with me. Bear with me. You know, I don't know exactly how the fuck this happened. I don't usually get sick or under the weather, but here we are. So I've like this has been my mentality since, I don't know, probably like 2007. For most of you guys who don't know, I absolutely despise the fucking Dallas Cowboys. It makes me sick to my fucking stomach when I actually have to give the Cowboys praise and credit for playing good. And unfortunately this season they've been doing a lot of that. So anytime the Cowboys do lose, I love it. I love it. Fuck the Dallas Cowboys. That's crypto arena. Fuck the Dallas Cowboys. That's how I'm feeling. So shout out to the Kansas City Chiefs for being able to allow me to sit up here and have so much negative shit to say about the Dallas Cowgirls, okay? Shout out to the Chiefs. So yesterday, the Chiefs beat the Cowgirls 19-9 on Fox TV, which is America's Game of the Week. And let me start off by saying everyone expected yesterday's game to be a shootout, but in actuality, that isn't anywhere near how the game turned out. The game was about both of the defenses stepping up and making plays on plays on plays on plays. Dallas came into yesterday's game averaging about 31 points per game, and we all know what the Chiefs' offense is and how high powered they are with Patrick Mahomes, Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce, McCole Hardman, and all the weapons they have on offense. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, he's back. So we all expected a very, very good game. But, I mean, it was a good game in a different sense. But it definitely wasn't the game that everyone expected. I'm pretty sure people who were betting on the over and under for points and, you know, the parlays and shit like that, if you had any parlays or any of either of the teams scoring above 30 points, you did not win for sure, because that was the type of game it was yesterday. So with yesterday's win, the Chiefs go – this is their fourth straight win. So a month ago, they were 3-4, essentially counted out, written off, and now they are 7-4. They're on top of the AFC West, and they look like they're back to, like, they kind of got their mojo back and their mojo rolling, and like I don't want to say they're all the way back yet or anything like that, because for the most part, I still feel like teams are not afraid of the Chiefs the way they used to be afraid of the Chiefs. The Chiefs still are not the same team, but obviously they are getting together. They're starting to fire on they are starting to fire on all cylinders. Defense is looking so much better than it was in the beginning of the season. And one thing I want to mention about the Chiefs defense. The Chiefs defense, and I feel like this is really, 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 really important to note. The Chiefs defense was never as bad as they appeared to be in like the first 5 weeks of the season. I don't think I honestly doubt, because the Chiefs have a very, very good defensive coordinator in Steve Spagnuolo. For those of you guys who don't know who Steve Spagnuolo is, how I got introduced to Steve Spagnuolo was he was the defensive coordinator for the Giants the very first time that they beat the New England Patriots in the 2007 Super Bowl. He was a defensive coordinator with Justin Tuck, Michael Strahan, O.C. Umeniro, Michael Pierce, Antonio Phillips. He was the defensive coordinator for that Super Bowl for that Giants team, and he was able to get a head coaching job for the Rams right after that. So the man knows his defense. The man is really good at what he does. So I never expected for a defense coached by him to be one of the worst defenses for over an 18-week span. Like, logically, based on what I know about football and what I know about him and his resume, I just didn't think that was even plausible or that was going to continue to happen. So that's one of the things I was mentioning to people is like, look, they're not as bad as their defense looks. Okay, they definitely need to get some things together, get a little bit healthier, and maybe things will tighten up for them. But also, like I said, they're not as bad as what what they look like the first 5 weeks of the season. But they also are not as good as what they look like the past 4 weeks. In the past 3 weeks, 4 weeks, whatever you want to call it, in the past 3 weeks, they've only allowed 30 points. Okay, that's elite defense. That's on average, that's 10 points per game. Okay, that's not them. That's not them for sure. So I honestly feel like eventually they're gonna balance out. They'll probably be like a middle of the pack defense to like 20th. They definitely don't have like the superstars on defense to make like crazy. That they're never gonna lead the league in turnovers, sacks, yards per game, passing. Like none of that. They don't have good enough. They don't have good enough players on the outside for that. Their best players are a safety and a defensive lineman. The linebackers are average at best. Their corners, all right. Their best player is The two best players are Chris Jones and Tyrann Mathieu. Tyrann Mathieu plays on the back end of the defense. Chris Jones plays on the front line. So I mean, other than that, they don't really have too many names that you can just really. Oh my God! I mean, they have Frank Clark. Frank Clark is a very good defensive end. They just signed Melvin Ingram. I mean, they're coming together and they're making things work. And one of the things that I will say about the Chiefs defense is take everything that you saw in the past couple of weeks with a grain of salt, because this Dallas team that they played yesterday didn't have Tyron Smith on the offensive line, and he is a fucking problem. Tyron Smith is a issue. Tyron Smith cleans up mistakes. He's like if not the best, one of the best left tackles in the NFL. So not having him really hurt Dallas's offense. And Dallas also didn't have Amari Cooper because he is an unvaccinated player who got COVID-19. So he's going to be out for at least 2 weeks. Yeah, at the very least 2 weeks. So Chiefs defense did look good against Dallas's offense yesterday, but there was reasons behind that. And one of the last things I want to talk about the Chiefs defense is finally they stopped playing, and this is a message to the rest of the NFL. The Chiefs stopped playing Chris Jones at defensive end, which is not his preferred position, and I feel like it's not his best position. He is a defensive tackle that can wreak havoc in the interior of the offensive line. And I've seen him do it over and over and over and over and over again yesterday. And the thing with that, with him being able to do back to where he belongs, that allows Melvin Ingram to wreak havoc on the edge, that allows Frank Clark to terrorize tackles on the edge, that makes the Chiefs defense so much better. And then yesterday we saw what happens when the Chiefs are playing good on defense. The Chiefs should honestly thank their defense. The Chiefs offense scored 14 points in the first quarter, and then the Chiefs offense scored 13 points in the first quarter, and then it scored 6 the rest of the game. They scored 3 points. The Chiefs offense scored 3 points in the second half. The Chiefs offense was not all that yesterday. The Chiefs defense is who deserves the win and the credit. And the most important reason why the Chiefs defense looks so good is because they don't have Daniel Sorensen playing anymore. That trash ass nigga. He is so terrible. And finally, he's on the bench. Fucking finally. I don't even understand why he was playing so much to begin with. He's trash. He is trash. Trash. He is trash. He should have never been playing. Trash. Trash. God damn it. God dang. Trash. I'm so happy he's not playing anymore. Number 49, Daniel Sorensen has to be one of the worst safeties in the NFL. Every week, the first 6 weeks of the Chiefs season, blown coverage, his fault, blown play, 60-yard ball, trash. Get into some of the stats. Patrick Mahomes, 23 of 37, 260 yards, an interception. Like I said, pedestrian numbers. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, he's finally back. 12 carries, 63 yards, a touchdown. Chiefs running game, still non-existent. Tyreek Hill, 9 receptions, 77 yards. Travis Kelce, 5 receptions, 74 yards. Let me get into the Cowgirls. Man. So, as I said before, no, Amari Cooper definitely hurt their offense for sure. No, my God, without a doubt, hurt their offense. CeeDee Lamb had a concussion, left, didn't even play the second half. That hurt the Cowboys offense as well. Zeke, ankle injury. He came back, but what does his ankle look like now? So this episode is going to release 12 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, 3 p.m. Eastern. All right? This is like 24 hours after the game. Adrenaline's no longer pumping. Like the swell, is his ankle going to be swollen? What's that going to look like? What's going to be his status for Thursday's game? Because he had a really, really bad ankle. He rolled his ankle pretty bad in the thing, and in the play I saw, and then the replay looked pretty bad. So he was able to come back, but that might have been adrenaline or just his testosterone pumped in that helped him finish the game. And I can't even say helped him finish the game because he didn't look effective for the rest of the game to begin with. Or I don't know if it was they weren't trying to get him touches or whatever the fuck that was, but definitely wasn't it. And as a result of all these three things that I just said, Dalton Schultz, who is their backup tight end, was the leading. I don't know if he's the backup. He's the first string tight end. He was the leading receiver for Dak, and the Cowboys are not going to win any games with Dalton Schultz being their leading receiver. No games. No, I could take that to the bank. That is never going to happen. Cowboys aren't winning any games if he is their leading receiver. Offensive line was ass. They let up 5 sacks. Play call was ass. Kellen Moore, what the fuck? Play call was ass. Okay, I'm going to call people out when they deserve to be called out. And the Cowboys had so many empty trips in the red zone. Against the Chiefs, look. Any team that plays in the Kansas City Chiefs, if you hold the Chiefs to 19 points, you deserve to win the game. But if that same team's offense is going to keep getting into the red zone and only coming away with 3 points, you are going to lose every single fucking time. You cannot play against the Chiefs and get into the red zone and only score 3 points. That is a recipe for failure and a disaster. You will not win any games. You're not winning any games in the NFL if you're settling for 3 points, let alone against the Chiefs. Cowboys offense needs to honestly apologize to the defense. If anyone holds the Chiefs to 19 points, they deserve to win. The Cowboys offense needs to apologize to the defense because they played lights out. They played their fucking hearts out. They held the Chiefs to 3 points in the second half. The Chiefs scored 3 points from the second quarter to the end of the game. 6 points. The Chiefs scored 6 points from the second quarter, from the start of the second to the end of the fourth. Salute to Dallas's defense. They actually came to play. Michael Parsons, fuck defensive rookie of the year. This man is making a statement for defensive player of the year, not defensive rookie. Defensive player of the shit. He might fuck around and win both. Next game I want to get into, the Sunday Night Football game. So, man, that was a really, 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 really good game. And the thing I want to mention about that shit is the game that I watched. It was just it's indicative of like who the Chargers are as a team, as an organization. The Chargers, this type of game that they won yesterday, they would have honestly more than likely they would have lost, but they were able to get it together. And oh my God, what a crazy game! So, and as I'm watching the highlights, it just I want to give immense credit to the Pittsburgh Steelers. They refuse to die. My God. The Pittsburgh Steelers refuse to die. Who are the Steelers? The Steelers are like, God damn, who can I compare this shit to? Like, damn, this nigga just won't die. Fuck. I'm trying to think about a movie or a TV show with a scene of somebody that just refuse. Oh shit. I know. I know. Hey, the Steelers, yesterday's game were just like 50 Cent in Power when, I don't think that's a good enough. I don't know. Well, if it comes to me, I'm going to say it, but I can't think of it. Just if anybody knows any characters that just like seemingly look like they refuse to die in a movie or a TV show, hey, comment below. But anyways, the Chargers beat the Steelers 41-37. And like I said, Pittsburgh refused to die, but somehow the Chargers were able to hold on to win the game. The Chargers had the end of the first half was 17-10, and the Chargers had opportunities to put the game away and even score even more points, but the Steelers defense stood tall, hung in there, just remained solid, remained vigilant, remained just I don't even know what to call it. So at the end, anyways, at the end of the fourth quarter, at the end of the third quarter, it's 27-10. The game essentially looks over. It's not even 30. It's 34-10. 34-10. I don't know how the fuck they did this, but the Pittsburgh Steelers scored. I know how the fuck they did it, but at the start of the fourth, I wasn't thinking they were going to score 27 fucking points in the fourth quarter. That's crazy. But before that, Austin Eckler, I had to give him a big ass shout out. Austin Eckler had fucking 4 touchdowns, 4 of them hoes, 2 on the ground, 2 through the air. The fourth quarter, the Steelers only had 10 points. The Steelers had 10 points in the first 3 quarters. In the fourth quarter alone, they scored 27 points. The Steelers scored 27 points. The first one came off a block punt. And games like this reminds everyone that you can play lights out on offense and on defense, but if you have blunders on special teams, they will drastically change the course of a game. Steelers get a block punt. Punch it in, plays later. 34-17. Very next possession. Justin Herbert's in the pocket, throws a pass. It's batted by Cam Hayward and picked off. And then returned into the red zone for Steelers. The Steelers punch it in a couple plays later. Now it's 24. Now it's 24-34. The next possession, the Steelers defense stopped Austin Eckler on 4th and inches. Score a couple plays later. Now it's 31-34. Then the Steelers get another possession, tied up with a field goal. Now it's 34-34. Just like that. Just that fast. The Steelers took over the game. And then after tying the game up, they took the lead. They were up 34-37. And then you think after such a crazy momentum swing, the Steelers are somehow going to pull this win off. But no. Justin Herbert did what he did best. And honestly, just in the future, when Justin Herbert, and it's crazy to think that Justin Herbert was like, I remember when Justin Herbert was drafted, they're talking about, oh, wow, what a terrible pick for the Chargers, this and that, and all this rubbish and all this other nonsense, weirdo shit that just I didn't agree with, because I seen the dude play. I seen Justin Herbert play repeatedly. I went to school. The school I graduated from was in the Pac-12, Arizona State. Shout out to Sun Devils. I seen Justin Herbert play multiple times. I knew he was the real deal. When he got drafted, I was proud of him. I was happy for him. Happy that he'd be playing in LA, so I get to see his career from start to finish. Hopefully, he stays on the chart. The Chargers are going to make sure he stays forever. So, in the future, Justin Herbert is very much capable of winning an MVP, passing for 5,000 yards, all-pro quarterback, capable of all these things. And it's crazy and not even crazy. It's amazing to see he's taking leaps and strides towards that in only his second season in the NFL. This is his first season as a full-time starter. Last year, he didn't start until like game 4 or game 5 or whatever, and he has never looked back. Never looked back. Let me get into a box score. Real quick. Justin Herbert had 30 for 41, 382 yards, 3 touchdowns, and a batted interception. Justin Herbert also, Jay Herb. They niggas be calling him Jay Herbo now. I don't really fuck with that, but it is what it is. Also, 9 carries for 90 yards on his Lamar Jackson shit. Austin Eckler, 11 carries, 50 yards, 2 touchdowns. Keenan Allen, 9 receptions, 112 yards. Oh, came to play. Mike Williams, 5 receptions, 97 yards, and the game-winning touchdown. Austin Eckler also added 6 receptions for 65 yards, 2 touchdowns through the air. Let me get into the Pittsburgh box score. because I want to give credit to where credit is due. Pittsburgh played now I wouldn't say they played lights out. Pittsburgh turned it on when it mattered the most, and I mean, unfortunately for them, they ran out of juice and weren't able to pull off the comeback. But nevertheless, I gotta salute them and give credit to them. Shout out to Mike Tomlin, his coaching staff. Mike Tomlin is something. Mike Tomlin has my respect. He consistently builds competitive teams, has competitive teams, no matter the injuries or whatever the case may be. He is no nonsense coach. He comes to play. He comes to work. He doesn't accept failure from his. He doesn't accept mediocrity from any of his players. I respect that. I salute that. And I salute him. Big Ben, 28 of 44 for 273 yards, 3 touchdowns. Najee Harris, 12 carries, 39 yards. The Steelers were only able to muster up 55 yards on the ground. I think that's terrible. I don't know exactly what the fuck is going on with that in that department. But the Steelers definitely need to be finding more ways to get him the ball. I don't think 12 carries is sufficient at all. And this is a guy that you invested a first round draft pick into. Come on now, Deontay Johnson, man. Let me talk up Deontay Johnson real quick. Deontay Johnson has improved tremendously. If I'm not mistaken, Deontay Johnson is the exact same player that might have asked for a trade or wanted out of Pittsburgh last year because he got benched because of his drops and whatever the case may be and all types of shit because, at a certain point, the Steelers had like a really, really, really talented quintuplet of fucking receivers last year. And at a certain point in the season, he was the odd man out. But he's improved tremendously. In yesterday's game, he had 7 receptions, 101 yards, a touchdown. Chase Claypool, 5 receptions, 93 yards. Eric Ebron, 3 receptions, 24 yards, and added a tub in there. So, really, really good game. Really, really good game. Sunday Night Football did not disappoint. Let's see what Monday night looks like. I'm not really expecting too much, but hey, it is what it is. And to my last topic of the day. Oh, my God. Man. This is going to be, it's crazy. I actually watched the highlights of the last game that he coached, and I'm honestly be the first to say I actually feel bad for this dude. So it is what it is. So I'm going to just quickly talk about this and then wrap this up and get up out of here. So Manchester United lost 23. Manchester United lost this weekend, 4-1. And they lost to Watford, which, historically isn't the best side in the world. Nevertheless, it is what it is. I mean, I can't really complain or hey. It's not, they didn't lose to a side that's in a relegation zone, but nevertheless, that loss that I seen yesterday might have been one of the worst losses I've seen all season on their behalf. And it led to Ole Gunner Solskjaer being sacked as the Manchester United manager. And one of the things that I read in all the videos and all the reports and other people giving their opinions and their takes and their breakdowns on this is he essentially already knew that he was going to be fired if he didn't correct things and wasn't able to get things on the right track. And the board informed him, I don't know if it was during the international break or before that, like, yo, look, this is the case, this is the situation you're in. And we're going to allow you the opportunity to save your job. But you need to start winning games. Because Manchester United is in horrible form right now. Of their past 7 league games, they lost 5 of them. And they're sitting like fucking 5th or 6th right now. So that's that. But I want to be the first to say and to point out that a lot of people honestly felt like Ole Gunnar Solskjaer should have never been offered the position to begin with. And it seems like, and when I heard people saying that, it just reminds me of when Chelsea fired Frank Lampard. In a couple of weeks, it's going to be around this time last year. Not a couple of weeks. In January, it's going to be around this time last year. So, beginning of this year, they said the same thing when Frank Lampard got fired. He never really was qualified to be the head coach or the manager for Chelsea. His claim to fame and how he was able to get the job is because he was a Chelsea legend, and Chelsea was going through a lot of different situations at the time, especially considering the transfer ban and XYZ, and that's why I see the similarities between Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and Frank Lampard, and essentially the same thing happened with him. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer Great player, club legend, one of the most loved players in Manchester United history. Up there, I wouldn't say up there with David Beckham and Wayne Rooney, but he is definitely somebody that fans obviously still respected to this day, and were happy to have him as the manager. But truthfully, he should have never been given the job as the permanent manager. He impressed so much as an interim manager that they felt like, oh, you know what? Let's stick it out with him. Let's tough it out. But in reality, they shouldn't have done that. They should have done what they said they were going to do, which is conduct a full-time search to try and find the right guy, and they didn't, because I never thought he was that guy. Never thought he was that guy. There was a certain point where I didn't even think Frank Lampard was the guy. I was just like, sometimes I would sit there and watch what the fuck is going on. Like, what the fuck is this? But hey, it is what it is. The club wanted it to work because like they have so much love for him. He's a club legend. He means so much. He means so much to them, but unfortunately, it just didn't. It didn't. I mean, and you see the same situation and what happened with Frank Lampard. And I want to be the first to say, man, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was given so much fucking time to make this shit work. So much time. I feel like they kind of sacked Frank Lampard a little prematurely. Like they hired Frank Lampard. They hired Frank Lampard in the summer of 2019, and he was gone by the beginning of 2021. So a season and a half. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer got 3 seasons. More than, I think he got more than 3 seasons. Probably like 3. No. Yeah, he got like 3.5, because I know he got 3.5. He got 3.5 seasons. He had more than enough time to correct the squad, the roster. And look, so, man, honestly, and then after watching the game against Watford, first of all, man, his players just quit on him. But that's what happens when a team loses, when a manager loses. You know what the crazy thing is, and what I tell people every day is, look, and I'm gonna speak. I'm gonna make this about life and not even about sports. We all know, anybody who's played sports, had a job, went to school. We all know when you have a good either teacher, leader, or coach. We can tell the difference. You know when you have a good teacher. You know what a good teacher looks like, how a good teacher acts, how a good teacher conducts themselves in the classroom, how they communicate with their students, and how they get their students to perform at the highest level possible. The same thing with their supervisor in any job. The same thing with any coach. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and then after a while, the players will start to realize themselves, like, look, this nigga doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. This nigga is not good at what he does. And I feel like that is exactly what happened in this situation. The players damn near quit on him. And then on top of that, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer made so many bad decisions. Why the fuck? And I'm gonna just sum these up so I can get up out of here. But look, Fred and Scott McTominay, that might be the worst midfield duo in the top of the biggest club of the top 6 in Europe in the Premier League. Those two are god awful together. God awful. And I don't even understand why he was consistently starting them together. Why? It just doesn't make sense to me. Like transfer window after transfer window after transfer window, he never upgraded the team at their most pivotal spot that they needed upgrade at. Fred sucks. Scott McTominay sucks. Donny van de Beek, you bought him, never played him. Paul Pogba and Donny van de Beek should have been their starting midfield pair. No questions asked. They need to get rid of Nemanja Matic. He's not the same player he was at Chelsea. Fred, ass. Scott McTominay, ass. Get rid of him. They shouldn't even be at the team. Man, hey, if they get a manager that really knows what he's doing, he's going to clean house and get rid of those players. Also, Harry Maguire. They don't want to admit this, but Harry Maguire was a panic buy. Harry Maguire was a panic buy. Didn't make sense. And last but not least, Donny van de Beek. Van de Beek. Why did you buy him to barely play him? Yesterday's game when he scored against Watford, that was probably like one of the first times I actually seen him play for United. Ole Gunner Solskjaer won no trophies. Didn't do anything monumental in the 3.5 years he was the coach at United. It is what it is. I can't feel bad for him anymore. Just, hey. And that, honestly, that concludes episode 79 of Pull Up the Tape. I'm starting to feel terrible, but it is what it is. I thugged it out, made it to the end of this episode. I want to appreciate everybody that's supporting me, showing me love. Like, comment, subscribe. Long live Pop Smoke. Long live Kobe. Long live Gigi. Oh, yeah, all that. Movie, viral. Whoa.